A couple of weeks ago, I made a video of Japanese breakfast for beginners. So many of you asked me to make a vegan version of it, so that's what we are going to cover today. My Japanese breakfast is composed of one soup, one rice, and one side dish, which is called ichiju issai in Japanese. For today, we're gonna make basic vegan miso soup together with 2 types of vegan furikake and spinach sesame salad. Everything can be made ahead of time, so all you need is reheating and assembling in the morning. Let's get into it.
おいしい？本当？おいしい。
First, we're gonna make very basic vegan miso soup. We have 20 grams of kombu. Kombu is a type of seaweed packed with umami flavor. Before soaking it, I roughly wipe off the dust with a kitchen towel. You don't want to remove the white thing. I can't find any other word to describe it. Can you see it on the surface? That's the source of umami taste. Soak kombu in water for 1 hour or possibly overnight. When it's done soaking, bring it to the stove and start heating up over medium-low heat. We want the temperature to gradually go up as more umami taste will be extracted during this process. In the meantime, let's chop some vegetables. I have carrots, onions, and shimeji mushrooms for this time. Thinly sliced carrot and onion. For shimeji mushrooms, just remove the bottom part and tear them by hand. Miso soup is very forgiving. I usually add whatever is sitting in my fridge. Dashi and miso runs up all the flavor and nothing will really stand out when it's cooked together. So don't be afraid to add anything into your miso soup. Carrot, onion, mushroom is my go-to lineup as it will give the sweetness to the soup, which is my kids' favorite. My cooking is all about how to get my kids to eat more variety of food. Let me know your go-to ingredients for miso soup. More ideas are in my e-cookbook and let me leave the link for you in the description box below. Back to the pot, now you can see the small bubbles appearing around the kombu. At this point, discard kombu from the pot. It's said that 60 Celsius is the best temperature to be able to fully extract the umami taste from kombu. But in the real life, I don't have time to check the temperature every single time, so all I care is try not to boil the soup when the kombu is still there. This leftover soup is called dashi in Japanese. We use kombu for this time, so it's called kombu dashi in Japanese. Now it's time to add our vegetable all at once. If you are adding leafy greens like spinach, you want to add it to the end. Pop the lid and cook it until the vegetable are fully cooked. Next, we are going to make 2 types of vegan frikake. First up, mushroom nori frikake. We are starting with tossing some sesame seeds on the stove for about 10 minutes. This small prep will make a huge difference in nutty aroma. When it's slightly browned, remove it from the heat. Do the same for nori seaweed. We have 2 kinds of mushrooms, shiitake mushrooms and shimeji mushroom. After removing the stem, cook them into the pan for 10 minutes without adding any oil, or alternatively, grill them in the toaster oven. All we want is to remove the excess moisture so that the flavor is dense and becomes stronger. A couple weeks ago, I showed homemade frikake using bonito flakes. The recipe is originally made by my friend's Chef's Lab. My family fell in love with it, and bonito flakes plays an important role in adding umami flavor in his recipe. So I was wondering what else can replace the umami taste of bonito flakes. Bonito is one of the fish, by the way. 2 things came to mind that were mushrooms and tomatoes. For the first recipe, I used mushrooms, and for the second one, I will use tomato, so stay tuned. When you start to see a nice char, remove it from the heat. It won't be crunchy or crispy, but that's okay. Once it's cool enough to handle, chop them up.
おすすめは にぎりはありますか？
ありません。
おにぎりないんですか？
僕の方にはね、
あ
僕のピザの方にはあります。
ありがとうございます。じゃあお願いします。
はい、おにぎり1個。
これ何でしょうか？
わかめ。
惜しい。これは昆布です。
Remember the combo we used in miso soup? We are going to chop them up into about quarter-inch square pieces. It's a great recipe to utilize your used combo. You probably want to use a sharp knife since it's a bit slippery. If you are looking for a sharp knife, I highly recommend mine made by 80 years old Japanese maker. The link is in the description box. To the pan, add sugar, mirin, rice vinegar, and soy sauce. Add kombu and mushrooms. Cook it on medium heat for about 8 to 10 minutes until almost all the liquid is gone. Some moisture will continue to seep out from the mushrooms, but feel free to splash some water if it starts to burn before kombu is softened. Remove it from the heat, transfer to the container, mix toasted sesame seeds and Nori seaweed. Combine them together. Deep umami flavor from the kombu and mushrooms, nutty aroma from the sesame seeds, and a hint of smokiness from the seaweed. This frikake itself is meant to be very savory, so definitely enjoy it with a bowl of rice or sprinkle on the salad or even pasta.
結構バクバク食べてるよね。ねえ、思った以上に食べてて、しかもこれさ、知ってた？キノコなんだよ。あ、知ってた？キノコいつも食べないのにこれは平気？
なんかちょっとなくなっ
My kids usually hate mushrooms, but they loved it for this time.
すごい。美味しそう。
The second one is a tomato basil frikake. It's inspired from Italian mixed herbs, but surprisingly happen to be a taste of Japanese food. First, we toast nuts and dried basil for about a couple of minutes. Do you say toast or roast in this case? I always get confused with these terms like roast or grill, broil, and bake. Anyway, try not to burn them by stirring. Set aside for now. To the pan, add sugar, mirin, rice vinegar, and soy sauce. It's the same ingredients but a slightly different ratio than the first one. You can find the exact measurement on my blog. The link is in the description box. Add chopped kombu. This time here comes a star ingredient that is cherry tomatoes. Also going in. To be honest, this is my first time testing the second version of frikake using tomato and basil. As I experimented on the first one, the creativity just sparked in my head. But I'm not sure how it will end up. So thank you for being with me on this adventure. In 5 minutes or so, the tomato will be blistered and all the umami juices will come out. When the liquid is condensed like this, remove it from the heat and transfer to the container. Add basil and walnuts. Mix to combine. That's it. Let me show you how kids react to it after everything is finished making. Back to the miso soup. When vegetables are cooked, off the heat and dissolve the miso paste. I added about 1.5 tablespoons of miso paste, but make sure to do the taste test since every miso paste has a different sodium content. Add cubed tofu along with dried wakame seaweed. Make sure this wakame seaweed is unsalted. Let it warm up with a usual heat. As for the side dish, we will quickly whip up spinach salad with a sesame dressing called horenso no gomae in Japanese, ground toasted sesame seeds. I probably like this step the best in this entire cooking process just because this repetitive motion is very mindful and the aroma is just speechless. Does anyone resonate with this? Add sugar and soy sauce. Taste test.
これ楽しい？これママもこれ好きなんだよね。No, no.
よし、やってみたらやってたよ。
味見後でしようね。
もう一回。
Toss it with the blanched spinach. You can do it with the broccoli, carrots. Bok choy would be a nice option too. While decorating the table, let me share the update. Sorry that I have to miss the video last week. I have been working on creating an online course. Remember a month ago, I asked you guys to answer some questions. Things like, what is your obstacle when it comes to Japanese cooking or in order to achieve the healthy lifestyle? You guys gave me the idea of how I structure my course. So thank you very much for that. And I was thinking what exactly will be a truly helpful for you, like literally changing your life, not just covering Japanese recipes or sharing basic information about the Japanese cooking. It should be go beyond that. One of my team members told me, why don't you make a course around the tips and knowledge you as a Japanese mom want to tell your kids in order for them to live a healthy, happy lives when they are grown up. The core reason why I run this channel is not only delivering Japanese food recipes, but I want you to be healthy and happy. I believe the food is a big part of that, and I pile up 15 years of experience around this topic. So we are leaning towards this vision. It's still very vague, but my whole brain system and interest has been occupied with making good courses. I might not be able to catch up on uploading videos once a week, but I'm not going anywhere. I just wanted to update with you guys. And now back to the recipe. As always, I cooked the rice with the beans and kept it in the freezer. And both frikake can be kept in the fridge for 5 days. If you make a miso soup the night before, make sure to store it in the fridge. And for the spinach salad, keep the spinach and the sesame dressing separately and toast them in the coming morning. There's a bit of prep required, but that's what allows us to enjoy this wholesome breakfast in the morning. I hope this video will encourage you to try something new. I guess that's it for today. See you in the next one, and we are finishing today with bloopers. Bye bye, mata ne.
Mm. 合う。意外といける。うん。パンじゃなくてもいいね。
もう一回僕ももう一回。
僕ももう一回。本当？どう？
美味しい。
長いね。吟味が長い。長いね。どうの？何点？10点中何点
？4点。
4 out of 10だよ。
やっぱり